Hello everybody, my name is Dr. JD Swanson, I'm the author of Karate Science, and welcome to our 15 minutes of thought for today. Today what I want to focus on is one of our favorite stances ever, that's back stance or Kokutsu Dachi. And coupling it with Shuto Uke, and we're going to do it with a very simple drill, very simple sort of story. So the first thing I want to get just straight off my chest is going to be about the Shuto Uke, and then from there we'll move into the stance and then do a basic stepping drill to sort of play around with that a little bit more. So from here, let's get started. Hey, very good. Okay, so let's think about the actual block, Shuto Uke itself. So it's very, very important, and again, like everything in karate, it builds in stages. Okay, from when you learn it as a white belt, and then as you progress through, it changes and guides depending on function, depending on technique, depending on your body type, and so forth. So what I'm going to be doing is giving you probably multiple versions, discussing different stories about why things are the way they are with Kokutsu Dachi, and then developing it on from there. So our first drill for today is going to be just the block. So all I want you to do is just load. So again, palm out, straight about solar plex height, hands up right by your ear, nice and high, like you're going to slap yourself in the face. From there, just pulling down and allow your body, allow your hips to pull down like so. From here, reload, then pull. Load, pull. Load, pull. Load, pull. Then from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So just practice through that. Give it maybe 10, 20 reps, press pause, give that a go, and then we'll shoot back. Excellent. So some points to think about as you're using Shuto Uke classically. Number one, make sure the arm is down and relaxed. All right? There's different positions that this hand can hold depending on where you are. In a basic pure Kihon form, so if you're testing something like that, you want it straight out. As you become more advanced, you can change where this hand goes, whether it's turned up, whether it's slightly bent, whether it's set, and so forth, right? If you imagine that you've just finished Pasade, just finished the punch and the drop, this hand doesn't even need to move, right, for the block. You can leave it right where it is. So when you think about this particular cover hand is just that, it's a cover. In the kata or in basic Kihon, we put it straight out. But in reality, it can be gyaku gerambarai, it can be a cover, it can be a cover, it can be a hold, it can be any of the above, depending on what the purpose is at that particular time. For now, classically straight out. The opposite hand, make sure it's loaded up. How far? You see some people here, some people all the way here. The answer for me, the way I think about it, is I have two magnets, one here, and I simply bring my elbows together, just like so. So you want this feeling of here to here. Don't any higher, my shoulder starts to lift and I start to strangle myself. Any further down, my hand stays here. Again, I imagine that this is a block or a shoot, whichever way you want to think about it. So this is the classic position. Also, it can be empty. It can be a slap, right? All of those different pieces can be pulled out of this technique. For me, the perfect place where I want to teach mine is here, by my ear, relaxed up, arm down, like so. Elbows, for me, together. From here, I simply push, pull, down. The feeling for the end of the block, because this is Shuto Uke, should be 1 fist width off. Don't allow this to escape out. This becomes tate shuto, right? You're stretching out. The movement is out and not across your body, like the block says. Yuguchi sensei always, wah, like you're cutting somebody's throat is the way he puts it. This kind of face. So when you're here, feel and allow, if I'm going towards my target, feel, drop. This particular position. 1 fist width, right angles, thumb bent, right, and all the way out, all the way open like so. From here, next thing to think about your abs, boom, boom, boom. This one sits right on the top ab, just in that crease there. Thumb bends here. Again, nice and flat. The trajectory that I imagine is if I'm punching, if I turn, it's exactly on that same trajectory towards you. And we'll talk about that in a second, about the importance of that, yeah? So think here, load, connect, push and pull. Load, push and pull. Have that feeling. The last piece, and we'll see it when we add in this, we'll wait till we add in the stance. So from here, just think, elbows together, down. Elbows together, down. Elbows together, down. Elbows together, down. Practice that side to side. Boom, boom, boom. Paying attention. Here to here. Here to here. One other quick comment. When I trained with Kanazawa Sensei, I remember we used to come across and connect sort of this L sort of shape down. The more common one that I've seen is straight across, that feeling. Both are correct, right? Again, just depends on your application. If your application is to hit and then connect down into somebody's elbow or what have you, that's correct. If your other option is to just throw to the side, that's fine as well. The end weapon, of course, is the outside edge of your hand, right? Imagine that you have a knife sitting right here and you're chopping down trees. That's what I was told when I was a kid. So with that, try side to side, side to side, side to side. Try different loads. Try different loads. Try classic loads. Try varying it up. Warm your body up, warm your shoulders up. We'll move into the stance next. Press pause, give it a go. Excellent. Okay, now for the stance. Kokutsu Dachi, and we can do an entire class on Kokutsu, which we're kind of doing. The stance itself, if you imagine, is designed at being 70-30, right? That's the idea. 30% of my body weight on one leg, 70% on the other. When I stand on my feet right now, I'm 50-50, and I'm roughly one shoulder width. Remember, the average stance is 1.5 to 2 shoulder widths in length, depending on your flexibility. So if we do the 1.5 shoulder width argument, right? If I'm standing here, that means here is half a shoulder width. If I use my handy dandy center marker, right, like so, my center sits right here. And from here, if I drop down, if I turn out, leave my foot here, if I bring it out one more foot length, right, and keep my center over that, now I have 1/2 a shoulder width, a second half a shoulder width, a third shoulder width, which accounts for the 70-30 technique, or the 70-30 classic body weight structure. If I pull it any further back, if I take, for example, a classic, put your foot and your knee against the wall, what that does, if I make, for me, my knee comes straight out over my toe with my knee structure. If I go further back, if I push this to the outside edge and try and pull my hip in line, notice I'm now at almost a 90-10. It's almost Nikuashi Dachi. Allow the stance to expand a little bit forward and a little bit down. My knee here is the same position as if I was in Zenkutsu Dachi. So allow it to sit here, this way. My center sits 1/3 of the way. If I'm in Shizentai, I simply drop. Shizentai, drop. Straight down. And this is the same for hand Nidan, hand Sandan, right, and so forth. So a couple of really cool drills to do, just to sort of practice that out a little bit. This is one that I picked up off Sensei Sil, Leon Sil. So from here, you want to stand, again, heel to heel like so, and then bend your legs, then step it out 1, 2, 3. Then bring it back, squeezing, holding, pull, then let it go. Then pull it back, then let it go, then let it go back, then let it go. The key thing is not to allow my weight to push forward as I go, to simply have the feeling and have the strength in both legs to open them out, to sit here and just, then let them back, whoop, then whoop, this feeling. So what I would like you to do is practice both legs, start out here, and just expand. Start out 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Then as you get better, slide, pull, slide, pull. Once you get better, load, sit, push, 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 like so. Practice no hands, then practice with hands. Stay on the one leg, and then I'll give you a real special one. Press pause, give that a go. Excellent. One other quick comment, something that I picked up again off Sensei Sil that I thought was spectacular, is if you look at almost every single karate book out there, it says in terms of your heels, that your heels should be sitting on the same line. So that means if I have my back heel here, my front heel should also be on that same line. But when you stand on that, the stance is very wobbly left to right. What Sensei Sil told me was he said, put one heel on one side of the line and the other heel on the other side of the line here. So what you're doing is instead of them being like this and expanding out, they're here and expanding out. And this was a better meaning of in-line versus out of line. The other thing that's useful for this is when you make a transition from Kokutsu to Zenkutsu, all I need to do really is just rotate on the ball of my foot. And I'm now hip width apart to be able to make my punches and make my kicks from Kokutsu Dachi should I need to. If I'm in line, I can't. There's no way. I'm still on line. You can see I'm wobbly here. But if I'm sitting either side, I simply turn my foot and I can now, admittedly it's a narrow stance, but it's a lot better stability when I make that transition here to here. Good examples of that, of course, 1, 2 of Heian Godan. So, try that. Give that a go just with that in mind. Again, just practicing through, thinking about it. Try again, stand this way, not necessarily this way, and expand, out, then back, out, back, no excess body movement. Press pause, give that a go. Try it in line versus beside the line very quickly. Give that a go. Press pause, give it a shot. Very good. So in the break, what I did was I went and I grabbed my chair. So the other thing that's important is to be able to build up the strength in your actual stance. So for here, take a chair, sit down, sit your back straight, and again, this is another one I learned off Sensei Sil. Keep your feet almost in Kokutsu. So I'm in classic Kokutsu position, and I'm sitting down. Now from here, push your energy forward. You don't want to rock up. I don't want you to do this, but rather stay here and use your center and use the squeeze of your groin and the outside pressure of your hip to simply, from here, stand up into stance. Then drop down. Stand up, drop down. Stand up, drop down. Stand up, drop down. Very good. So give that a go. Again, check that your foot parallel, up, down, up, down. This kind of feeling. And you can see it's hard. It's really hard work. Here, then down. Very good. So try that, both sides. Press pause, give it a go. Very good. Okay, so from here, next drill for you is for Kokutsus here, and you can do the classic back leg squat. So simply here, drop, standing up to help increase the flexibility in that rear hip. In this particular case, because you're going back much further than probably your flexibility allows, you're not expected to sit back onto that heel, but rather let your bum go out and come up. And if you're really clever and you have soft floors like I have, you can do one that my good friend Matt Payne loves to traumatize people with, which is the idea of sitting down, come forward, back and up. Down, forward, back and up. From the front, here, down, forward, back, and up. One more. Down, forward, back, and up. Very, very tough work through the hips and the legs. Give those two a go, and then come back in a second. Very good. Last thing I want you to think about is really think about that structure of that back leg. So from here, as you make the stance, check that the outside edge of your foot is parallel to whatever the wall is or whatever that you're doing. Don't let it sneak back. So parallel, if you're a little bit more flexible, you can come even further out to the front, the same as you do Zenkuts. From there, bend your leg naturally, and then as you open from your groin to the outside edges of your feet, don't just push your knees out. That's bad for you, bad. Groin to foot, same as Kibadachi. Feel that opening of the hip, of the body, as this connection sits down. So here, boom. So what you're effectively doing is you're almost kind of leaning against a wall. This becomes very, very solid and in place, which is the purpose of the stance. Stop. Right, so allow that to happen. Boom. I'm at the point, the apex of my flexibility here. With the front leg, don't straighten the leg. If you straighten the leg, here it's just kind of unstable. Rather sit, bend the knee, and actively push. Have this feeling. So here, the idea is that I'm pushing, I'm sitting, pushing here to the outside edge of my foot, and then with my front leg, I'm actively pushing back into this hip, which pushes here down and into that leg, whilst opening to the outside edges of my feet, like so. This is the feeling you want. So from here, what I'd like you to do is just practice just with that stance to give that a go. And then we've got one more drill. It's going to be a moving drill, which you can sort of play with this a little bit more and kind of put everything together. Press pause, give it a go. Okay, our last drill for the day is a basic stepping drill. So starting from Kokutsu Dachi, all I want you to do is I want you to step forward. As you step, don't open yourself up and then block, right? This is like, come hit me! No. Second thing, move your arms with your body. So while you're here, feel connection, connect and open. From here, step back, same thing. From here, follow the elbow, round. From here, follow the elbow back. Right, so here are 1, 2, 3, 4. This kind of feeling. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good. One quick comment. If you feel this sitting here, don't torque your elbow out. Just open your chest. Squeeze through your shoulder blades. So try that drill. 1, 2, 3, 4. Forward step, back step, rotate, rotate. Practice on both sides. Give that 10 to 20 reps. Feel the cat stance sort of whoop, sticking like a cat, like we've talked about. And then from there, we'll talk about some final thoughts. So press pause, give that a go. Very good. So really, when you're going through Kokutsu, remember its purpose. Its purpose is to drop your body weight in place, to stay. That, or you're getting pushed and you're no further. You stick and stop. The idea of that is by dropping and balancing your weight, driving it into this hip, you can now drive off very quickly to be able to move. Likewise, if I'm here, like in some of the other kata we do, drop, now I can drive and step, right? So it's that kind of feeling, that beautiful back, power, drive, boom, go kind of flavor. And so with that thought, have an awesome evening, wherever you are, or day, and I'll talk to you again soon, okay? Hey, Shuto Uke, like, us, thank you, take care.